Streaming now, this is the Wood TV Live Desk.
And good afternoon, everyone. Phil Penarski here with the Wood TV Live Desk. Hope you're having a great day so far. Joining us is Brian Wheeler with Consumers Energy, and he's here to give us a couple of tips on what to keep in mind if our power does go out. Brian, it is great to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. I'm happy to talk about the storm. It looks like winter is finally here.
Right. No, that's exactly what I was going to say. We could not have picked a better time to have you on the live desk, guys. You know, just looking outside right now, it's very clear that we are still in Michigan and it is still winter outside. So there is, of course, a chance to potentially have some power outages in our area over the next couple of weeks, maybe even today. And I'm sure a lot of people watching, you know, they're quite familiar with power outages. They're quite familiar with how to kind of respond to them and might know what to do to prepare for it or what to do if their power does go out. But there are still a lot of people like myself that are still new to Michigan and maybe don't know exactly how to handle a Michigan winter. So I guess, Brian, just starting off, you know, for people that are kind of, you know, as winter is starting to come down, power outages are more likely. What are some of the things that they can do ahead of time while they still have power to kind of get ready in case something does go wrong?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and we at Consumers Energy, our job is to keep the lights on, the power on for homes and businesses. We provide energy to nearly 2 million homes and businesses across the state. And usually when the weather is good, you can expect that power is on 99.9% of the time. But when we do see severe weather, when we see storms like this is a great time to be prepared and be talking about what to do. So I'll tell you a couple of things to really keep your game plan simple going into it. One, for starters, think about where you are today, home or at work. Charge your phone. It's easy to forget to do. It's important to do. Your phone is going to stay probably connected to the internet, to the outside world, and a great source of information as you are in a situation if you lose power. So by all means, charge up. At home, just really have a good game plan. So I think about that in terms of I'm charging my devices. I'm unplugging power strips and appliances that I don't need to have getting the power getting surged back to them when power goes off or comes back on. But really having that game plan. So some people may have generators at their homes for the first time. Maybe they got that last year going into this winter. Today, before the storm hits, especially hard, make sure you know how to use those generators safely. Make sure you're operating them outside your house in a well-ventilated area. We say these things going into every storm, but it never hurts to remind people because you don't want to be thinking about these things once you're in that situation where maybe the power has gone out. And then lastly, if you're a Consumers Energy customer, go online right now. Go online at consumersenergy.com/outage center. You can see tips and advice like what we're talking about. You can see our outage map. And you also can sign up for alerts so we can send you information via text. If your power does go out, we want to give you a good idea when you're going to get it back.
Right. No, and a really great tip on that generator, on generators, Brian, because I know a lot of people probably got them for the holiday season, and now this might be the first time that they actually get to use it. So make sure that people do know how to use those. Now, if a power outage were to happen, you know, what are some of the first things that people really need to start doing to make sure that, you know, things are safe? Because you never know really how long an outage might last.
Right. And you know, the good news, I'm looking at our outage map right now. We have fewer than 1,000 customers across the state who are without power. We know the snow is working its way through. And really over the next 24 hours, we're going to see some wind kick up as well. That has me a little more concerned because those wind gusts are what really can cause the potential for power outages. So again, it's really preparation and a game plan. And I'll say it again and again. I would ask myself if we're going to lose power at the Wheeler house. Do I plan to stay at home? What do I have on hand so I can do so safely? You probably can keep your refrigerator closed, and your food or your drinks, your milk will stay good for a while. As cold as it is outside, you can probably move those things to your sun porch or an outdoor area like your garage to stay cold. But do I plan to stay home? Do I have a flashlight? Do I have my phone charged up in advance? Do I really know what I'm going to do? Do I know where the blankets are if I'm going to just huddle up and stay warm? Or do I know where I'm going to go and stay, maybe a hotel or a relative's house? Believe it or not, sometimes we get caught off guard when the power goes off, and we haven't had that conversation in advance. And then again, you can reach our online outage map from your computer, or of course, if you lose power at home or your business, you can pull it up on your phone as well. That is a good source of information and real-time updates.
And one thing I really did notice on the consumer's website that, I think could help a lot of people watching, and maybe something that a lot of people, I know myself, I never really thought about maybe having a plan ahead of time for when it does happen, but we're trying to help people out here, Brian. But once the power does kick back on after an outage, what are some of the things they need to do right away? What are some things that they really need to consider doing first and foremost, whether it is bringing those items back into the refrigerator or maybe something more important like checking to see if all your electronics are working, or what are some of those key tips that you would recommend to people?
Yeah, and we talked about unplugging power strips or unplugging appliances. Just a good protection there. So yeah, good. It's a good idea to walk through your house, walk through your business, make sure things are functioning as they should. One kind of nuance that sometimes I had to learn about when I came to Consumers Energy is your electric line that runs through your neighborhood, the poles and the string of power lines you see, they connect to your house through your own individual, your service line, your drop as we call it. But then there's a connection point to the house. It's called the mast. And again, go to our online website on consumersenergy.com/outage center. You can read more about, depending on, sometimes when damage happens, it can be our responsibility as Consumers Energy because it's that line that's coming into your house, or maybe it's actually beyond the mast, beyond the point where it's made the connection to your house. There are sometimes people lose power, and they find out they have to contact an electrician to do the repairs to their own system to keep the power flowing. So I want the power to stay on. I want the storm to go easy on us. We're doing a lot of work today, well, actually the last couple of days, but leading up to today, to prepare and get the power back on quickly. But there is certainly a part of this where in your own life you want to be prepared and know what you're doing.
Right. No, I think that is the big key, that obviously we don't want people to have to experience a power outage, but just in case they do, you never know when Mother Nature is going to strike. It's important to know what to know ahead of time. And Brian, before we let you go, obviously if people do experience a power outage, maybe they've got questions, maybe they don't have access to the internet and can rewatch this or check out this web article. What are some of the best ways for them to get in contact with you guys over at Consumers Energy, whether it is to, maybe ask for some assistance or potentially even report an outage?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we talked about our online, our website, our outage center, but there are other ways to reach us as well. I do encourage you to sign up for those texts and those alerts. It's a great resource you can get on your phone, but there is a phone line that exists, and it will be staffed around the clock, even when the power goes out. 1-800-477-5050. So 800-477-5050. That's our Consumers Energy number. We want people to report power outages. If you're a gas customer, we want you to report gas leaks if they happen. If you have a problem or a concern, know that we're here to help you. Call us and we can help.
Absolutely. And I do want to remind everybody that, especially during these winter months, it can get really cold inside the homes without any power. Highly recommend checking out our web article. We've got a lot of helpful tips. You can also call 211 and you'll be dispatched to some representatives that will be able to guide you onto some maybe nearby warming centers in case your home does get a little too cold. Brian, once again, thank you so much for stopping by the live desk today with all these helpful tips. We really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Of course. And I want to thank everybody else for tuning into this latest edition of the Wood TV Live Desk. I'm Phil Penarski, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.